Oh boy. Forgot that this was here.
Let's get into it. Whew. Oh, and this would have been his car.
That his dad built for him.
Built. Oh, baby boy.
Still with me, Sean?
Yeah. Just zoning out.
Why is his brain giving him the worst fucking
when you're driving,
dreams?
So, what's the verdict on the new car? I know it's not a new board, but it's got 4 Hot Wheels.
Thanks for finishing it, Dad.
A perfect reward for your excellent report card. I'm proud, Sean. You don't even bullshit me when you need cash. And I'll try to be cool. No dad jokes, huh? I hope you're not too bummed out to go on a big road trip with your lovely papito, huh?
I'm gonna cry. It's been 2 seconds. I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm good. Good.
Same. Sorry, I'm just going through it here. I don't know. I think I'll just say you're the coolest. Because he is.
He is the coolest.
Oh, please. You're the coolest dad. How could I be done?
Excuse me. Where's my regular, emotionless son? I appreciate it. Think we can hang out for 5 days without killing each other?
Hell yeah. Haven't done that since I was a kid. Miss it.
So do I. Been too long since we went padre y hijo against the road.
Way too long. I love road trips.
Good to hear. By the way, boy talk. What's going on with that Jen, huh?
So this is where if you, I think only if you kiss Finn,
Yeah.
you can have a conversation with Esteban about being bisexual. Or, I guess, you can't have a conversation with him about being bisexual, but you can have a conversation with him about liking boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is an important distinction.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm gonna say not much to talk about because Sean has no game.
Yeah, also, you know, Jen is in the past.
We do not care to think of Jen. She was the white girl of the month, but that was like 3 months ago, you know?
White girl of the month is so real. As someone who falls in love with a different white girl every month. Yeah, you're so right.
She's from several months ago. We don't need to talk about her anymore. She did something problematic. We're over it, you know.
Jen was the white girl of the month in
well,
September 2013.
Not much to talk about.
That was like pulling teeth. Well, I've got a week to find out the truth.
It's over.
I think I would say maybe I've said this before, so I'm slightly curious about the others. I think I've said try out new stuff before, which feels right.
As in,
But well, I think it's kind of as in like. You know, it's not that I'm not interested in anything, like, romantically or sexually anymore. It's just, like, I'm over Jen, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at new stuff, which I think encompasses, like, both
yes, that makes sense.
Cassidy and, like, potentially exploring,
He's on some
like,
new shit now.
Yeah, but I don't think I know what he... I think that I've said that before. I don't know what he says
Let's find out.
with with the others. I am a little bit curious about I Kind of Miss Her, but what are your thoughts on?
I just want to have like a deeper conversation with Esteban. I don't want it to feel like we're just brushing him off.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
So, but that's my main priority. Everything else, I'm like, I don't have strong feelings about. So I'm happy to say I kind of miss her just to see what happens.
yeah, because that's not where I'm at, but I'm curious to see it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just... I don't get to see her too much. Kinda miss her.
Oh.
I'm assuming this is
You
in a
are
reality
hooked, my
where
son.
he managed to date
Don't
her.
worry. This is how it goes. Ah. Could that be Daniel? Hola. Hello. Everything okay, Lila? Oh, Daniel better not be giving you any sass.
Nah, he's an angel. We went
True.
to the swimming pool, and now we're making popcorn for movie night. Yes! It's so cool! Hey, Sean, don't crash the car!
He's driving real slow and safe. Like a grandma. Thanks for checking in. We'll buzz you when we hit the motel.
Lila, you ready? Sounds good. And Sean, Jen wants you to call her when you have time.
Jen says hi. Sounds pretty good, Sean.
You think? Maybe.
Seriously, though, how are you really doing?
I'm erring towards I miss you, but
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of curious
too-
about
Oh,
if change.
sorry.
but- No, that's fine. That's fine.
But... I miss you.
I miss you too, my son. But this is all part of growing up.
I know. I don't like it.
I have total faith in you, Sean. You're a Diaz. You were born to roam and find your way home.
God. I love you, Dad. Wish I would have told you more.
You didn't have to tell me. You showed me. Oh, by the way,
Hey, wake up!
What?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing on our property?
Oh, man, I crashed hard.
Oh yeah? Come on out, boy. Who the fuck is that? A fucking kid. Get out.
sorry.
I was
Yeah?
also.
I said out.
It's more the like, oh fuck, I didn't. Oh, it's another
We
fucking
don't
timed
make
one.
cops to deal with assholes like you anyway.
Listen, I don't want any trouble.
Too late for that, boy. So tell us what the fuck you're doing on our land.
Your land, is it?
There's a fucking sign. Didn't you see it?
I was too exhausted. I guess I missed it.
He's just a kid, and he's hurt. Look.
Yeah? What happened to your eye? Move it.
Oh fucking hell! I didn't realize this was all timed.
Yeah. It looks like it doesn't really make a difference what you say, which is
No.
interesting
Please.
in it of
I
itself.
just want to go.
Oh, what's this? Drugs?
Yeah, for my eye.
Oh yeah. Did you steal them? Like this car?
Well,
I don't fucking
lost
know.
my
I just
keys,
pressed
and-
something. It's yeah.
my friend helped me start it.
You mean you hotwired it? Holy cow, fucking car thief too. Take his backpack.
Dude, come on.
Get it! Let's see what he's holding.
The other guy is such a fucking loser.
I know.
So,
Nothing good.
any money?
Fucking toys, man.
You still play with toys? Seriously?
It belongs to my brother. Leave it alone.
Right, so this won't be timed. I'm sure. Yeah, I think it's interesting that like whatever you say or you know you don't say.
Yeah,
anything,
it kind of
which,
doesn't
like
really
it doesn't
make a
matter.
difference.
It doesn't really matter.
They know what they want. Well,
Yeah.
that guy knows what he wants to do in that situation. It's just a matter of like time.
Yeah, and he's also like, he's also kind of just like, making a laundry list of like racist stereotypes and assumptions about Mexicans.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Yep.
Like you're a thief, you've got drugs, like, etc.
And that he's stolen the drugs from the hospital. Which he kind of did, I guess, but like also it's a hospital, like he should have the medication he needs for his eye. Like that's not a... They would have hopefully given it to him anyway, so you'd have hoped. Just like fucking swabs and shit. But yeah, also, yeah.
So I remember us maybe talking a little bit about what you did the first time you played this.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do again? I don't really remember.
I didn't do anything here. But the next decision I went along with what they asked me to do. So when he tells him to sing for him, I went along with it, and I instantly wish I hadn't. Like I was like, that was horrible. Yeah, no. Oh, hello, Saf. Saf's come to say hi.
Hello, Saf.
Oh, she's got her tail out and everything. Hey, sorry, Saf, I'm going to give you a little pickup just so that we can have a little... Oh, she doesn't like that. No, it's because I'm holding her like I hold Arthur. She's like, what the fuck is this? What the hell are you doing, mother? Normally we're fine. What are you doing? Yup. Yeah.
Okay, so I in the interest of you seeing something different, are you interested in doing that?
Yeah, 100%. I want to do it differently because I think the way that I played that first time round, I think that was also like the whole experience of playing this game, I was like constantly feeling like I kind of done the wrong thing, but that's also just the sense the game gives you, right? But I think in this particular moment, that was a real moment of clarity for me of like, my white privilege has influenced my decisions, and actually, yeah, it has not influenced me to make those decisions correctly. You know, like it has really coloured my perspective, and I'm obviously like making a lot of decisions in this game. You kind of know that, but this is the choice that really hit it home for me. Of like, I as a white person am doing what people tell me to do because I think that it's going to make me safe or safer, and it's not. You know, it's not going to make me have a better time, quite simply. Like, it is going to continue to be worse. Whatever I do, it is going to be bad, so I may as well do things that at least protect me, or like Sean, mentally more in the long run.
Yeah, I think...
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I think that, so, obviously, like, racialized people are not a monolith, and it's worth saying that, like, I've seen other people who are racialized, like, play and talk about this decision very differently to I did, which feels important to say. Like, I watched one person in particular, an Asian person, playing it and going along with everything, and they were basically just like, I think you could tell from how they were reacting to being in the situation that it was something that they'd experienced before, and their response in that situation to be like, I want to minimize like the physical harm to me, so I'm going to go along with it even though I hate this. And so my feeling about this is, first, that because it's a video game, so it's not really happening to me, there can be something quite cathartic actually about that, and expressing like anger and resistance in like this safe, objectively safe place of doing it in a video game. But then the other thing is that So I've been thinking about this a lot recently in relation to Palestine and Palestinians because, like, my feeling, and it's been my feeling since I played this game for the first time quite steadfastly, is that, like, I would rather have the shit beat out of me than be humiliated. And that was my feeling the first time I played this game, and that's my feeling now. I would rather experience like bodily harm
Yeah.
than be humiliated in this way. That's me personally, but I've been thinking about it a lot with regards to Palestinians because, like, I think I mentioned it in the stream the other day as well, but a good example that made me think about this a lot is there's this short film called The Present, which is on Netflix and Prime if you want to watch it. It's a Palestinian short film, and it's about a man who, with his daughter, tries to buy an anniversary present for his wife, but he lives in the West Bank, so he has to go through a checkpoint in order to go to the grocery store. And it's a whole thing, but something that I was thinking about when I watched that movie and that representation of the experience of going through those checkpoints, I was thinking, yes, the threat of bodily harm and being killed even is always there, but the humiliation is unbearable. Like, when I was watching that movie, something that really came across to me is the way that the soldiers in particular were humiliating this man.
Yeah.
And when I was watching it, I was like, it's like actually the humiliation is what's unbearable, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah.
And there's so much about like the way that Israel operates that is designed to psychologically torture Palestinians, to humiliate them. And the humiliation of Palestinians is a tactic to break their spirit and to break their spirit of resistance.
Yeah.
And you know, there are many examples of that, including most recently horrific examples that there is footage of like IOF soldiers like stripping Palestinian men, and that's a fraction. There's so many examples I could talk about. It's like wrapping your mind around the level of dehumanization and humiliation that occurs, like short of murdering people. And the fact that, you know, Palestinians live through these daily humiliations, it's really no wonder to me that so many people's reaction to the situation is like I would rather resist and I would rather die than bear this humiliation and then bear living in unfreedom. And it's something that, like, when I was watching that movie, I really felt it. And this interaction is like one that I've like found like I always find like quite emotionally difficult, like personally, but the way that I always end up feeling is that like I would rather take the beating than be human like this.
Yeah, definitely. And I think like it ties into like the conversation about like respectability politics and stuff as well, doesn't it? It's like if you're spending your whole life trying to avoid getting physically hurt due to racism or homophobia or various kinds of oppression, then you're using the energy you could be using to organize and collect with others. And I mean, obviously physical energy is also important when you get beaten up, but like in terms of your mental and emotional energy, I feel like that's so much harder to heal. I don't know, sorry, Arthur's yelling.
That's okay. Also, a quick thank you to
Yes, sorry.
Mahi Kamihan for the sub. Sorry, we were deep in the
Yes.
conversation, but thank you very much for
We-
subscribing.
Really appreciate it.
I think the other thing that I would say though is that like that's certainly my mental space and about this, and it certainly is the, you know, as I've described, the mental space of many Palestinians. But if I were in this situation in this moment, I don't know how I would react.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact. Like, we never know how we will react to a situation until we are in it.
Yeah.
And in no way, shape, or form am I passing judgment on people who would go along with it. Because I know that I've been in situations where I have felt completely humiliated, and I have gone along with it because I didn't know what else to do. That was just how I reacted in that moment.
Yeah. And you go into fight or flight, right? Like
Exactly.
It's not. I think fight or flight is often not a moral. It's not a moral failing, like, to react either way.
Exactly.
In my opinion, it just truly. It is your human nature is fight or flight. Like, you know, that is our reaction to extreme stress is fight or flight. And if you pick one and you regret it, that's shit. But it you should never be anything you do in fight or flight. Basically, I just feel like you shouldn't really. That should not determine like whether your politics are correct or whether you are correct. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, like as a white person, I have no right. Yeah, also to say, like, this is bad, this is good. It is just what it is. And I think the main thing that happened when I played this the first time and that happened was that I really reflected. It just forced me to reflect on that decision that I had made, and reflect on my whiteness in that context.
Yeah. Which is good.
Which is, yeah, what I hope everyone experiences when they play this game.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, being able to sit
Everyone
here
white,
and have a
obviously.
conversation, being able to sit here and have a conversation about it is a luxury, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
this-
like we can just pause for a minute and, you know, be like, well, let's talk about this. But yeah, obviously in this situation, yeah, I would probably do nothing just because I'd be too overwhelmed to figure out what the fuck was going on. I'd just be like, ah. But, you know, again, fight or flight, you know.
Yeah, but I think that like part of the reason that I'm in that emotional space is because I think every single time that my reaction in the moment has been to do nothing or say something and like bear the like humiliation, I've regretted it so deeply that I know that when I was in this situation in the game, my emotional response was and continues to be that like I just
Better to do something.
yeah, like I don't know how to really like describe it, but every part of my being is like screaming against doing what he says.
Yeah.
And that's really like the only way that I can describe it.
Yeah, yeah. I think what you said about like never like always regretting when you haven't said something or done something, that feels, that's like put a lot of things in context to me of like when I have done things, I am like, I have never looked at doing something with regret in these situations. Obviously I haven't had these situations, but like if I, for instance, was a bystander and something like this was happening and I stepped in, which there have been a few occasions where I've actually sucked up my fear and stepped in, and I've never regretted doing it.
Yeah. Even
and
if you, yeah. It,
like,
obviously, it's hard in the moment to put
yeah,
yourself
it's
in
really
place like
hard.
that.
But and it's not
like,
something
but-
I do all the time. But like when there are those situations and I've done something about it, I will never regret doing it. It's like, yeah, sorry.
Even if something bad happens to you, right?
Yeah, and like there was a point where I nearly got kicked off a coach because, oh, this is a long story, but basically this woman on my coach was being told to get off, a black woman was told to get off the coach because she had hot food on her, or food labelled hot food, which was no longer hot. And she was like, I'm literally diabetic, like I don't want to get rid of this, I don't want to throw this away. And basically the driver was like, well then I can't let you travel on this bus. And there was this whole thing, and like loads of people on this bus had snacks, like it wasn't a big thing. And I had my headphones in initially, and then I kind of heard that there was still some argument going on, and I like took them out, and basically I did step in and get involved, and I nearly got kicked off the bus as well with this woman. But yeah, like I was tired, she was tired, we were both stressed and upset by it, but I was like maybe not saying things that 100% like, I don't know, that I got into an argument with some other people who were on the coach, which probably wasn't helpful, but like it meant she didn't have to have that argument, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it meant she didn't have, like the focus was on me and not on her, and she could sit in her feelings a bit more and have that space. So again, like I don't regret any of that, and I'm glad I did it, because yeah it wasn't acceptable, and it was stupid.
Hi, Islamic Assistance Project. Thank you so much. Free Palestine, always. Yeah, so we're just continuously raising money for medical aid for Palestinians, and trying to talk about that in every stream, no matter what we're streaming. As we play this game, we're trying to talk about Palestine as much as we can as well. And, you know, we appreciate the thanks, love and respect to you as well, but it's literally the least we can do.
Yeah, 100% the least we could do. Yeah, shall we, I guess we're erring towards take it back?
Yeah.
Whoa! You did not. That's it, boy. Get up. Up!
Okay, Chad. We fucked with him. Let him go. He's got nothing.
Hey, hold on a sec, Mike. You speak Spanish, Pedro?
Huh? What?
What? Hablas español.
Chad.
So, Professor, how do you say, I'm a dirty thief?
Don't do this.
Oh, you don't want to share your language? Okay. Maybe you know this one. I'm a dirty thief with one eye.
I don't. Sorry. I find this scene so hard to.
Yeah.
All I want to do is learn Espanol. Might be our official language someday, right? Si, senor?
Sorry, I keep forgetting it's timed.
One more lesson. How do you say, this is not my country?
Fuck off. This is my country.
Hoo-hoo-wee! Did you hear that?
Oh, that lightning in the background.
Oh, Chad, it's gonna rain. Let's go before we get soaked.
No, we took the country back. Hold on. This little thief is fucking with me. You're really pissing me off, you know that? But I'm willing to give you one last chance to make things right. Sing something.
What?
Just pass the audition and you're free. We'll be very upset if you refuse.
Sorry, I
It's okay.
slightly unexpectedly my body is going into
Yeah, no, it's the same, honestly. I don't have to apologise for that at all. It's a really hard scene.
Thank you for the follow, Islamic Assistance
Yeah,
Project.
we really appreciate it. Thank you.
We are both based in the UK, but
In a bad place right now.
yeah, we're in a bad place right now. I am Muslim, so I'm mixed Arab and Desi as well, if you're interested. So.
And I'm
Welcome
white.
to the stream. And Charlotte's just white.
I'm just white. And sadly from the UK. Yeah, Yeah. Arthur, please. Sorry, my cat's yelling at me. Well, yeah, I mean...
Sorry, I don't know if these, like, crucifix earrings are misleading.
Yeah, I forgot about that!
So the...
I'm just Ken! I am just Ken!
But because the name of this episode is Faith, and it's like got the theme about. I mean, it's obviously the theme of this episode in many ways is faith, and that's something I'm super excited to talk about. But like specifically, it's got this whole plot line about like a church and stuff. So
yeah, it was for a specific reason.
It's,
yeah.
I mean, this is close to my religion, but it isn't quite my
Not
religion.
quite there.
The ableism from Chad as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, that's a good point. Mahikami Pan. And I don't know if you were around earlier, but we started to have a bit of a conversation earlier about kind of like the intersection between disableism and racism, and how like the way that Sean is perceived from this episode onwards, like wearing the eye patch and stuff, becomes kind of like very particular, that like his disability kind of his like physically apparent disability kind of feeds into this racist perception of him as like a criminal or like what have you. Yeah.
Sorry, my other cat is just hanging out. I'm just gonna... There he is!
There he is!
Hey Arthur! You're starring! Say hi! Oh.
Well, that's a Muslim right there, because as we know, all cats are Muslim.
Yeah. Yeah.
ACAM, as
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah, I know! Arthur is a white Muslim, though, I'm afraid. Saf is a brown girl, but Arthur's as white as they come.
Saf is Charlotte's other cat.
Yes, she's down on the floor at the moment. But yeah, no, he is yelling at me, even though it's an hour till his food time.
Also, Mahikami-han, we upload our playthroughs to YouTube.
Yes.
So no rush. Take your time. Catch up.
Yeah,
whatever.
All good. Yeah, we've got how many? Like 2.5 episodes up now. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll
So
link
yeah.
the channel in the chat.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're refusing.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry, it's doing that thing where it keeps like reloading, and I keep panicking. Let me refuse. There we go. The drama.
No.
Really? Okay. I warned you, boy.
Stop it, Chad! What the fuck, man?
I feel like maybe we should have been doing content warnings
Yes. Yeah, you're right. We should have.
in our commands. So very sorry for that, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Holy cow! What are you doing? Listen, you little beaner. Get your shit and go.
Yeah, that was a slur.
Now.
Yeah.
It's crazy as well
Just
because
drive
like
straight and you'll hit the highway. Forget this happened, man. Okay?
fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Thinks
What?
he's fucking better than the other one.
Jesus. Should have hit them with your car.
So obviously, like, we live in a very particular context, and like I've not lived in the US.
I'm gonna pause this just while we.
Sorry, yeah.
No,
interrupt
it's
his rant.
literally fine.
I had never heard that slur before.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my brother like was at like a placement and lived in the US for 6 months, and yeah, like he was just like, yeah, this shit is like people say it all the fucking time, and I was like, wow. God. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously not that people don't come out with a bunch of slurs here as well, but it's a different place with a different
Yeah,
language for
different
those
cultural
things.
slurs.
And different ethnic minority communities.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the way this scene goes from that dream about Esteban immediately into that. It just fucking... Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. Like he just woke up and then that happened. Oh, I forgot about... It was Daniel's birthday while he was in hospital, while Sean was in hospital.
Oh. That's very sad.
Flora's tried to
Okay,
frame
so
me again.
Sorry, this is from quite a bit earlier in the conversation.
Yeah.
But, so this is not the graphic that I was looking at before, but it is a similar graphic. I'm linking in the chat now. That basically illustrates the territory that Israel has occupied historically. And it shows the occupation of Egyptian, Lebanese, and Syrian land. So I've popped that in the chat now. If anyone who was here earlier or is here now and is interested wants to have a look at that, it's very useful.
Cool.
Okay. Racist dickheads beat the shit out of me.
I can put
because
onto
I
the...
wouldn't let them humiliate me. Yeah, I don't know, like, obviously it's awful to see him get beat up like that, but it's just, I've seen both, and it's not as awful for me as watching the other one.
Yeah, I think having now seen them both, I agree with you that just that, I mean, it's bad either way, but like that, the comply one is, yeah, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay.
The Wolf brothers were split apart. The oldest wolf was badly hurt, but nothing could stop the wolf from following his brother's tracks.
I opened my mouth to start answering that question, but I think you did as
I
well.
did too, yeah. We play a lot of things. I think Sara's probably better at summarizing that than me, as I am newer to Game Assist, but yeah.
Sure, so Game Assist, we're kind of like a small collective. So me and Charlotte are 2 members, and then we've also got Daz, Varys, and B, and all of us do like various things, but some of us variously will stream. So if you follow the channel and you join some of our streams, it won't always just be
Still a few
Charlotte
hours
and
away
I.
from Haven Point.
Sometimes we'll do solo streams,
there.
or different people will be streaming together. We play all sorts of games, and different people on the team have different preferences, but our mission at Game Assist is really about kind of exploring themes to do with kind of power and liberation, especially like regarding, you know, race, disability, gender, in regards to games. So I guess our main piece is that we create video essays. But video essays are pretty intensive. It takes months of research and work to put them together. So in between that, we stream games, and we aim to analyze political issues as we're playing the games. So I guess a lot of the games that we play are games that are suited to that.
Yeah.
Like, so it can be anything really, but if we want to play a game in order to have a conversation about it, that's kind of the sort of choices that we make, if that makes sense.
So if it's like, it feels narratively relevant or mechanically relevant, but often it tends to be kind of narrative focused games. So Life is Strange is obviously a popular one on the Game Assist roster. The Life is Strange series. But yeah, there's quite a big variety. There's a lot of previous Let's Plays on the YouTube channel, which is Game Assist YT as well. I think, is it? Or no, yeah, no, it is, because there's a Game Assist that already exists. Rude of them. So yeah, you can check out some of our previous streams. We've got loads of stuff on there, haven't we?
I'm not sure if we have a command for YouTube. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
So I can stop putting in the whole ass link. If you type in !YouTube, then you'll get the link to our channel. And all of our video essays are there as well. Also, for folks who are following us via the Palestine tag, we recently co-hosted the Towards a Free Palestine Game Jam, which is an incredible experience. And the other day, B and I streamed some of the entries, but not all of them. We're going to be streaming more soon, so that's something that you might be interested in.
And they are so good. Like,
yeah,
it was such a good stream, and yeah, it's just the things that people have made were just incredible. So yeah, definitely worth checking out.
That first stream will be going up on YouTube as well, like most of our streams do. And I'm also currently, it's going to be a few months off, but I'm currently working on a video essay that's focusing on Palestine with regards to Assassin's Creed. So that should be fun.
So yeah, a variety is the summary. But yeah, I mean, each member of Game Assist has different games they like to play as well, or like play styles. So yeah, we do a lot of different stuff.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. I was just looking at how
I need a break.
burnt and
Might be some shade at the next build.
Yeah.
Crispy. He's looking crispy.
looking crispy.
It's the white side.
Yeah.
It's the white half.
Yeah.
Not that brown people can't get burnt, but I think it's funny. I personally, I have a lot of hubris about the fact that I'm, historically I've been immune to burning, except for one time that I was kayaking on the ocean for like 4 hours and my nose got burnt.
No. Yeah, I mean, look at me. I burn. But also, like, the way, just from a, like, I know stuff about skincare perspective, people of colour do burn. It just looks different and often feels different to how we are told burning from the sun looks.
And we should all be putting sunscreen on anyway. But also,
the sun is
Next billboard.
sometimes bright.
Stop.
But also,
Can't run for
it's
miles
funny.
in this heat.
Yeah,
And
fair.
I do enjoy making fun of white people.
And I respect that.
Having a one-up on you.
Yeah. And it's a good one-up to have. My
It is a
god.
good one-up to have. Because, to be honest, burning
My feet are
seems
killing me.
incredibly painful.
It is. It's horrible.
Feels like hiking in hell.
Me and Chris went on holiday last summer and we managed to get burnt the day before the last day.
Oof.
So we came home burnt, which is really annoying. It was like, we did so well, and then it was like that last day. I think it's because I basically spent the whole day in the pool.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Never been so far south.
Maybe that's how to hack it then, when you're on a holiday anyway.
Shit.
Yeah.
If you
My throat
can
feels like sand.
be somewhere with a pool.
Oh,
guess.
no, I mean, as in, I got burnt because I was in the pool the whole day, so I didn't
Oh.
put enough sunscreen on.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Actually, you burn worse in water because the water refracts light.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Worth it for the pool, though, it was. Oh, hi, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I needed that pool. Again, I'm not the best suited to hot weather anyway, so
Never
I
drove
need
desert
my
before.
pool time.
I love me some hot weather.
It's so
I'm perishing in
empty
this
and
winter.
quiet.
I'm sorry.
Perishing.
I am, but for different reasons. Yeah, it does still come up in these.
Okay. Just draw now. Don't think about anything
The
else.
vision blur.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the left side. Yeah. I'll trade you all for the cold weather. I'm tired of this damn heat.
You don't
I'll
know what you're
trade.
asking for, honestly.
We'll trade. No, I'll trade.
Can't see much depth anymore.
It's
I
And
need
then
to
after like
observe
2
even
days
more.
of a heat wave, I'll be like, okay, maybe
yeah.
this isn't what I wanted.
I-
But like, I don't know. I still prefer it. Even a heat wave, I'll take over like a bitterly cold winter.
I think the problem with the UK in general is that it is not it is not built to cope with weather. Full stop.
Full stop.
Just
Yeah.
any weather.
Any weather.
Anything that isn't moderate
Had a good picture of
and
it.
mild,
I'm ready to draw now.
it's not built for.
Yeah, it's true.
This place is so empty. Huh. At least I won't mess up perspective for once.
So where I was born is like
I guess that's an
like
okay
in
start.
A very, very much like a desert
But I can keep
area.
going.
And I think sometimes I can be very nostalgic for that.
Okay,
And
Just
but I
draw
think
now.
that
don't think about
Being-
anything else.
being in like a country that has better infrastructure,
I just need to focus on the
for
subject
the heat is
and get in
very
the
different
zone.
from suffering a heat wave in the UK.
like I used to.
Sorry. The UK, it's the worst of both worlds. Truly. Yeah, I think having been to countries that can deal, like, are better equipped for cold weather, like I've been to Canada, and that was like, oh, this is how you can?
Yeah, yeah.
This is how you can function in cold weather? What?
Honestly, actually, in Canada, I loved the winters.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
in the UK, I hate the winters.
Horrendous. Because you don't even get the fun snow, you just get wet. Damp.
Summer can be a struggle in Canada, that's true.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are, it can get very hot. Not a lot
Yeah.
of people know this about Canada, but yeah.
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago, I ain't built for this tropical life.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's very fair.
I would.
Tropical weather, yeah, personally, I really struggle with humidity, so I feel for you.
Yeah.
It's that dry heat desert weather that that's a bit of me. So when I see this, I'm like, I could live in Nevada. I could do that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, did
in
I not
some ways.
finish drawing?
Never drew a desert before.
Okay.
Huh.
I thought I'd done all the steps,
It's
but
so-
maybe not.
Empty and quiet.
That Larry's fireworks sign at the back. Where? Oh, there it is. Okay. Wasn't coming up.
Okay,
If I start sweating, I'll
Just
commit a
draw
murder.
now.
Yeah, me.
don't think about
Me as
anything
fuck.
else.
I'm like, yeah, sensory. To be honest, though, also like the number of layers you have to wear in winter. Like when I get home, especially because I'm in London,
Guess
I have to
could
go on the
spice things
tube.
up a bit.
Um,
Make the whole thing funnier.
yeah, coming in from like being on the tube with like 15 layers on, like a hat
The
and a
tube-
scarf and a.
The tube is a whole other story.
Yeah.
You get such whiplash.
Yeah.
from-
Just like the temperature variation is stressful. Do we want to draw
So-
hell or an oasis?
It's interesting because thematically this seems like a similar question to prison bars or staircase.
Yeah. Also interesting in the context of this this episode being about faith.
That's a really good point. Wow.
He's chosen. So there was the first one had stairs, which obviously imply like going up to heaven, and this one it has the option to draw hell, which is obviously.
That's such a good point. I never really thought
you
about
not?
that.
Oh.
But that's a pretty good point. No,
I love when I make points that surprise you about Life is Strange games. I'm always like, wow, I did it.
It's a challenge because I've played them so many
I know.
times.
That's why I'm always like, shit. Maybe I am a unique thinker.
Not because I'm especially smart or anything, but because I've played them so many times and I've spoken about them so much.
I think you are very smart as well, though.
I appreciate that. Well, I think the Oasis is like less overtly religious imagery, but it does remind me of like one of my favorite Quranic stories. Not in that there's like a literal oasis, but okay. So I mean, if there's anyone in the chat who can like remember it better than I do, then you're welcome to correct me, because I remember having this conversation with my mother, and so I don't know if I remember the story 100% correctly, but basically in the Quran, when Miriam alayhi salam, or Mary, is pregnant with Isa, or Jesus, alayhi salam, then she has to basically she has to travel on her own in the middle of a pregnancy, because Allah has told her to that to go and give birth in a particular place, and she's struggling. It's a really hard time, and there's this moment where basically she, if I remember correctly, and this is the thing, I don't know if I do, but basically she's really struggling and she stops for a moment and she like prays for kind of sustenance, and an angel appears to her and basically says something which is like a sentiment which is commonly said by Muslims, which is that Allah never gives you more, I guess, never gives you more suffering than you are able to bear. And Allah makes like dates appear, and she eats the dates, and he makes water appear, and she drinks the water, and then she continues on her journey. And it's just something about that I've always really loved. So
that makes me think of sorry, I've got my little snacks. In Life is Strange True Colors, sorry, Arthur wants these crisps so bad right now. No! If you press on my fucking on button, I swear to God. Sorry. It makes me think of in Life is Strange True Colors when Alex, obviously spoilers for that, when Alex has the option to potentially take Charlotte's anger away. And then if she does take it away, she lashes out later, because she's basically taken on that anger. And that's Arthur, I swear to God. He's screaming. Can you hear
this is
him?
his suffering to
Yeah.
bear.
Now you need to learn to suffer this particular thing. You can bear it. I believe in you. He's like, no, I cannot bear it. But yeah, no, that makes me think of that. Sorry.
No, that's like
Punctuated by Arthur, but yes.
That's a really nice comparison. Actually, I hadn't thought of that.
Okay.
But sorry, I was giggling at I am very anti-Nevada, so I usually pick hell.
I could try adding details.
I think I accidentally just clicked
Focus
on
a bit more.
Yeah, I clicked on one. I don't know what I said. Let's find out.
Let's find out, I guess.
I think
Got a good picture of it.
Looks like hell to me.
Looks like
I'm ready to
hell.
draw now.
I guess we're kind of leaning into his emotional space.
Yeah.
Like the dark emotional space, which I think is fine as well, because like hope is all
Man.
well and good, but if you're not feeling hopeful,
My eye always
it's
starts hurting when I
fine
focus for
to
too long.
express despair in your art, because art is for expressing your feelings. It's literally fine.
Oh my god. Little bit of crisp. Arthur loves crisps. Maybe too much. He will now scream at me for more until I finish these, and then I will give
Can
him
you
the
really
packet.
love crisps too
The
much?
desert just
No.
goes
For a
on
cat, yeah.
forever.
For a cat who shouldn't be eating crisps, yes.
Okay. Alright.
Arthur, please.
Roast chicken Diaz. Look at him. He's like,
just-
no, don't catch me.
He's a little guy. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Come here.
Oh, are
Come
we
and
gonna
have
see a cat?
uppies. Yes, we are.
So much dust
Puppies.
everywhere.
Puppies!
Look
Nope.
at him.
No
Gotta be
uppies.
extra careful with my eye.
Downies.
Downies. Okay. You can't even like the taste of those crisps that much, Arthur. They were balsamic vinegar flavoured.
I don't know.
Weird flavour
just-
for a cat to like.
Food is food.
Don't
for
worry
him, I
about your
feel.
feet.
So true.
Just pace yourself.
Okay, but
Daniel
I
better be
so
okay.
last summer
Feels like I haven't seen him in years. Of course I miss everything
went
about
on
him.
holiday with my friend.
Even his whining. Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
Al.
sorry.
He's just talking.
No, sorry for interrupting him. I was just gonna say I went on holiday with my friend whose uncle lives in southern France, so it was a very like affordable situation because we were staying with him and the flights were cheap and stuff. And on like a couple of days I had to myself, and it was super hot, like Mediterranean weather, and I was having the time of my life. And on one of the days that I had to myself, I went on like a hike for about 3 hours in that heat. And I had loads of fun. I loved it. Like, just, I don't know, walking around feeling the sun on your skin like that and like exploring this beautiful Mediterranean countryside was amazing. But yeah, when I was getting like a couple of hours into hiking around in that heat, I was like, okay.
That's enough of that.
My shirt is like drenched with sweat. Things are getting dire. I need to start heading back now. So I can imagine a fraction of what he's going through.
I would have lasted 10 minutes best, and then I would have gone, no,
Fair
that's
enough.
That's
Can't
not
wait
how
to
I
get
want to
out
spend
on
my
your own.
time. But I love and respect that you want
Now
to do
you
that.
are.
But yeah, that is my
That
idea of
sucks.
fun.
I'm
must be
glad.
said. Oh, this poor kid. He must be so fucking exhausted. It's like no water and food is the thing. That's the other thing about that hike is that I realized I'd forgotten to pack a snack. So I was like, yeah, that's another reason
Gotta
why I
pack
gotta
a
head
hiking
back.
snack.
Yeah, foolish of me.
I think because I was a scout and I had to go on a lot of enforced hikes, I've just never found the joy in them.
That's fair. Yeah.
I've never, like when people are like, I'm
Shit,
going
there's
on
a
a
truck
hike
coming.
for fun. I'm like, why? What? But it's because it was never presented as fun.
Whoa. Is he honking
He's
at
so
me?
red.
He's stopping. Okay, be cool. Just
Be cool and normal.
see what he wants.
Yeah, the dry heat as well.
Yeah, so I'm from Riyadh in Saudi Arabia.
Truckers
and
can't be
it's like
cops.
40-degree
Right.
dry desert heat, like on the regs, including winter.
Damn.
It's intense. Yeah,
I would be a
but I love
crisp.
it.
I would be a crisp. I would become one of these crisps. I would. That would be me.
Thankfully, there's a lot of air conditioning there,
Yeah.
but
Just-
Hey, need a lift? It's too damn hot to be walking.
yes, I am from Saudi, which is something that I have a lot of a lot of conflicting feelings about. Wah wah. This is why I usually tell people I'm Arab. There's a place in Nevada called Stovepipe Wells that is so hot you can literally fry eggs on your carb on it.
Damn.
Damn. Do you want to walk
Me.
or do you want to get? Do you want to get in the truck?
I want to get in the truck.
Let's get in the truck. Did you
Do
do
it.
that last time?
Yeah. Yeah, I was
let's
like,
go.
fuck this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
I
there's
recognize there is a
risks,
safety issue, but
Hold
frankly.
up.
But however, there's a risk in both situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredibly expensive, yeah, and yeah, I have a lot of complicated feelings about it because in some ways it's familiar and it's home, but I'm not exactly a fan of the Saudi regime. Part of the reason why I don't even like calling myself Saudi is because like the country is named after the royal family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Huh.
Saudi Arabia is named for the Al Saud family.
Oh my
The
god,
name
some
is
Choco
only-
Crisp. Sorry.
And that name is not very old either, because of that reason.
Interesting, I didn't actually know that.
Jeez. What the hell
Oh,
happened
shit.
to you?
Chris is getting me a present. I'm sorry.
Cute.
Uh,
But also, it do be where you have to go for Umrah and Hajj, so, that's another reason to have complicated feelings about it, because, like, it's such an awful regime that I hate in so many ways, but, like, political regime. And one of the things is the fact that you have to give money to the Saudi regime in order to go on, like, the most important Islamic pilgrimage there is.
yeah. Yeah. That I can see why that would be very conflicting.
Yeah, it just sucks.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's not your fault.
Yeah, it just... Yeah. I think especially when, like, I mean, presumably that's something that, like, you as Muslims are, like, encouraged to do at least once in your lifetime, right?
Yeah, that's like a pillar of Islam. Is to, if you are able to.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. So, like many things in Islam, like it's stipulated that if you are able to, then you do the thing.
Yeah.
If you are not able to, then Allah is not going to hold that against you.
Yeah, for sure.
But a lot of people, including like some friends of mine that I've talked to about this before, like Muslim friends, like feel that it's morally and politically against what we believe in to do that, which
Yeah.
is like very sad, but it's a choice that you have to make. And the same is true of Al-Aqsa. So there are some Muslims who are not Palestinian who will go on pilgrimage to Al-Aqsa, which is, one of the holiest sites in Islam after Mecca. And that's crossing an international picket line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would love to go to Al-Aqsa Mosque. I would love that. But am I going to do that while Palestinians are being held hostage on their own land?
Yeah,
No.
this is it. I'd also love to visit a free Palestine, but like,
But I'm not fucking gonna do that until Palestine is free, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like who am I to like go on pilgrimage when like this holy place and the indigenous people are like experiencing what they're experiencing.
Yeah, for sure.
Jahannam awaits that regime. Absolutely it does. Well, that's what the day of judgment is for,
I don't think this is timed.
America. Sorry, he's got an American flag in his car.
I'm just gonna say nothing for now. I think. I don't think.
Yeah,
need to
I mean, I
tell
think
my...
that being on your guard with this white stranger who has an American flag in his car is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing, just a bad day. Bad week.
I see. You're not the only one.
Oh yeah, you're having a terrible time.
Hey, Anton, you there? Everything
Anton.
alright?
Yeah, what's up?
GPS tells me you parked in the middle of nowhere. Just wanted to know what happened.
I had to make a shit stop. Over.
Too much information, but
Well, you did ask.
You mean number 2?
you owe me a beer for that. Over and out.
Is he being monitored?
Yeah. I think he is.
Don't freak
He's being
out.
surveilled, dude.
I wouldn't have
rough.
picked you up if I cared about that hitchhiking law.
Okay. Cool.
Comrade Anton.
Yeah. But also just like, yeah. Tracking your GPS.
So, you hungry or what? You look hungry.
I'll take his damn food.
Yeah, listen. Could that sandwich be poisoned? Yes. Will I die of starvation if I don't eat that sandwich? Also, yes.
Also,
you.
he didn't
As
really
you
have time to
heard,
poison it, honestly.
my name's
and drive
Anton.
at the same time.
Yeah, true.
It is good, huh?
Unless
My wife
this was
backs the
incredibly
best
premeditated.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Messy.
Best sandwich ever. Seriously. Thanks, sir.
Anton.
Anton.
He really
Right.
is a comrade.
He is.
So don't
He's
call
like,
me sir.
Don't call me
Yeah,
Sarah.
shit.
Fuck the hitchhiking law. Have my food. Comrade. But we need to do something about the American flag.
What's your destination?
Yeah.
Haven Point. You've heard of it?
Oh yeah. Straight ahead, about an hour.
Bobbing my head to music that I can't hear.
Take a nap
Ah,
if
yes.
you want. You don't have to stay awake to be nice. Hey, don't worry, kid. I'm not a fucking weirdo. Just a boring trucker.
Sounds like something a fucking weirdo might say. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it does.
Yum yum.
Yeah, I mean, like, having done this before, like, I know that Anton is a good one, but the first time I played this, I was like...
Yeah.
Like, I really don't fucking trust this, but, like, there's not really a choice in this situation except to trust the stranger.
Yeah. I mean, it just puts you in so many awkward positions. Also, we didn't talk about this yet, but obviously
Last stop. Even.
I feel like there is a parallel to be made between Sean walking through a very hot place, trying to get from one place to another, with no food, no water, no protection. Arthur said it best, and Palestine, and what's happening to Palestinians right now. The ones who are able to leave Gaza or want to leave Gaza are obviously having to go a very long way through very varying temperatures. Obviously, like quite hot in some places, very, very cold at night. Yeah.
At the moment, it's
Is it
really
quite cold at the
cold in
moment?
general at the moment because of the winter.
So
Yeah, and I think that, yeah, obviously a lot of people, it's interesting because something that I've seen Israel try to kind of use as part of their narrative is the idea like, oh, like Gaza is hot, so nobody's struggling with the cold, which is like a very racist and orientalist idea of like the Middle East. geographically speaking, Palestine is a place that quite significant portion of historic Palestine does not have a desert climate. The southernmost region, the Negev, is a desert, but quite a lot of historic Palestine is like very fertile and verdant, like very green.
Also, deserts still get freezing.
And deserts still get freezing at night. But yeah. There's of course, the fact that like so many people were displaced from northern Gaza and then told to evacuate south, and then they were told to Khan Yunis, and then they were like, oh, Khan Yunis isn't safe anymore either, so you got to evacuate south to Rafah, and just over and over again. And now like there are still people in northern Gaza, and the ground troops are still kind of like targeting them. But people in Rafah now are being forced to again make the decision, which they've already had to make before, of staying in their homes and possibly being killed, or trying to flee towards Egypt. And then Egypt, which is under which has been under a totalitarian regime for the last decade, by a Western-backed leader who was installed in order to quell the Egyptian revolution. Where have I heard that story 100 million times before?
Yep.
The Egyptian government is complicit because they control the Rafah border and they work with Israel to prevent Palestinians from crossing.
Yeah.
I've seen some mutual aid fundraisers before, including for friends of friends. And Egyptian border police are charging Palestinians like tens of thousands of dollars to cross the border, which is horrific. That's absolute, like the inhumanity of that I can't even fathom. But yeah, you're right, that is an important parallel to make. So I mean, just imagine this, but like millions of people crammed together, and also you could get bombed at any minute.
Yeah. And also you don't even, I mean, obviously he doesn't know if he's in the right place, but they don't even know if they're going to be allowed through to like their destination.
Yeah.
So
Point.
Thank you so much.
You just be careful out here. These people are kind of weird.
Really? Okay.
10-4, good buddy.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
I just thought it was a very like pertinent image with
Yeah, I think like the image of refugeehood in a way like feels very like, I don't think that I've ever seen people use the word refugee to refer to what happens in this game. But like forced displacement,
yeah,
and refugeehood is more or less what we are seeing play out, even though it's within the kind of nation-state borders of the USA.
Yeah.
For sure. Claire wouldn't approve gambling.
Life is a gamble, bet on the Lord.
I kind of unironically love these signs, like the ones that are like really goofy, like the ones that are like, I don't know, they're trying to be topical or funny or like, I don't know, it just really gets me.
I'm so glad this guy picked me up.
No, I get what you mean.
I was stupid
Universal
to worry about
Uprising Church is quite an interesting name.
him. A lot of cars for a place in the middle of nowhere.
It's because it's in the middle of nowhere, they've all got to get here.
Yeah, true. And there ain't no public transport, baby.
There's no regular bus, let's put it that way.
Wow. Forgot about Easter.
He is
I
risen.
completely lost track of time. Hope those people are caring Christians. Like our grandparents.
Your grandparents are not caring Christians.
I think that was sarcastic.
where online can I learn Arabic? All I know is the alphabet. I mean, I'm...
You okay now?
I'll pause it.
I am using Duolingo a little bit. I also follow a few TikTok accounts. I don't have, but part of the reason is that I don't have a ton of time for online courses and stuff for learning Arabic. But I mean, part of what helps me, I'm learning very slowly again because I don't have time to be going to classes regularly. But one of the things that helps me supplement my learning with Duolingo, and this is true of like, you know, whether you're taking an online course or going to classes and stuff as well, is like being surrounded by Arabic speakers and kind of like watching Arabic film and television with subtitles, and that kind of thing is really helpful as well. But with Arabic in particular, I think it's really useful to know what dialect you want to learn, because a lot of the resources out there that you're going to find for learning Arabic are going to be teaching you MSA, and I'm sorry if you know this already, but you know, also advice that anyone else might find useful, or Modern Standard Arabic, and MSA is not spoken by anyone except maybe like TV and documentary presenters.
Interesting.
Learning MSA helps you learn Arabic for sure, but it's not how Arabic is spoken. So alongside formally learning Arabic, like in classes or on Duolingo or whatever the resource might be, what you're learning there is MSA, and then I would seek out the dialect that you're trying to learn, whether that's TikTok pages or media, film, TV, etc., and learn how that dialect is spoken. I can think of like quite a few examples where I've learned how to say something. I've learned things in MSA via Duolingo, and then because I try to kind of consume some content in Arabic, that I will hear and learn how people say it in dialect as well, which I'm mostly surrounded by Levantine dialects, which do vary but are quite similar. So like Syrian, Lebanese, Palestinian dialects are like very similar, very mutually intelligible. Or Egyptian's like quite easy for me to understand as well. But that's very different from Maghrebi Arabic. So like Algerian, Moroccan, Tunisian Arabic, Maghrebi Arabic is quite different from Levantine Arabic. So yeah, I hope that's helpful.
I've learned things today.
Is it gone?
I think.
Good. Scoot back inside now.
That's such a child thing to do. Be like, I think it's gone.
Hello there. Is everything all right?
Yeah. Don't worry.
You here for the service?
Also, if I do find non-Duolingo resources, then I will try to share those with you, because I would find that useful as well.
Yeah, I think, I can't remember if it's now being included in some boycott lists, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember what the reason was, but I definitely read that somewhere. So I can check after this and let you know. I mean, obviously...
Thank you.
If that's the only, like, way you can learn it, then obviously there's not, like, a huge choice, but yeah, just something you might want to know.
Yeah, especially if you're doing it for free, then it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Better than giving them money, but yeah, that's good to know. Thank you. We'll look into that some more.
I might just say yes first time. Like, this guy doesn't need to know my life
Yeah,
story.
just play along with it.
Yeah, I am, but it's my first time.
Don't be shy. Everybody's welcome here, no matter who you are or where you're from. In his eyes, we are all equal. Plus, we have a pretty nice spread after the service. Stay as long as you want.
Okay, thanks.
Don't thank me. I'm just a vessel for our reverend. Thank
Oh,
her. Looks like you're here to see our new miracle, right?
So I have a friend who, I don't know the exact denomination, but basically she has like a very young adults, like late teen years, got very involved in like a local church and stuff, but has basically ended up marrying someone quite young, like when she was 19, and divorced him, and very much like left that church situation. And she was telling me the other day she's been doing some like locally, like where she's living at the moment, she's been doing some like free things where it's just like a walk and talk kind of thing, just to kind of get her out the house and stuff. And she got talking to this woman, and this woman was like, so like going, oh yeah, like I've actually been going to like coffee mornings at our church loads, and it's been so nice, and everyone's so welcoming, blah blah blah. And like instantly her like alarm bells were like raised, because she was like, oh, I know this game, I know this one. But I do find it so interesting how much of a culture of like using food and drink specifically to encourage people to convert, or kind of become faithful. I don't know if this is a thing specifically with Christianity, but it's definitely my knowledge and experience of Christianity, which I find really interesting.
Yeah, so it's interesting because there's a way which is like what you're describing, which can be manipulative or coercive.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like specifically that manipulation, rather than like obviously providing like food banks or like feeding people.
Yeah, well, providing food is something that is, I mean, obviously that can be a key part of any community. So a lot of like churches, mosques, temples, etc. will like share food. Like that's common. But I mean, sometimes it's like important spiritual practice in a specific way as well. Like many gurdwaras, so like for people who don't know, Sikh temples, that's a gurdwara, will give food away for free, and anyone can take it. Similarly, Sufi Muslims have a history of giving food away to the poor for free. It's also something that we're encouraged to do for zakat during Ramadan and throughout the entire year, zakat being like the Islamic pillar, which is charity. So that's I think that broader applicability of the role of food in religion is that it's related to doing good and doing charity and also fostering community, and those are like the positive sides of it. And then the negative side is exactly what you're describing, where some religious communities that are cult like this one will distort that, right, for these kind of nefarious purposes. So it is interesting for sure.
It's definitely interesting when like it's often used as like at my university there was a Christian society, and they'd always give out free cake, but it would be like, oh, come to our like service next week, there's going to be more food, like that kind of thing. And obviously like a student who doesn't have much money is going to be like, hell yeah, I'm getting free food out of this. But it's that kind of like you have to keep coming, you have to join, you have to and it's like
Yeah, for sure. I think that in the first place, what makes it distinct is that in that you could recognize that it's like manipulative or like a manipulation tactic is when it's conditional. Right?
Yeah,
So
for
like, you know, many religious communities who will give food away, like what I described, that's unconditional. They'll give it to anyone, and there's not a requirement of like you have to come to Gurdwara, you have to come to mosque.
It's just like, here you go.
Yeah, so that's one of the ways that you can recognize the difference for sure. And one of the really insidious things about it, which like you've alluded to, is that it's really insidious because obviously that's going to people who are vulnerable, like going to appeal to people who are vulnerable because they're, you know, poor. Like they can't afford food. So that's quite awful.
And it's like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say sure, because again, like, I feel like I just want to kind of play along and be like, yeah, I'm here for the service.
Yeah, let's not be conspicuous. I think we already unfortunately look.
I was gonna say.
Of course. So many new faces are coming to see him these days. He'll be here any minute now. Just come inside and see for yourself.
And I think a lot of what he was saying was fine, but
Praise
the
the
red
Lord.
flag was, I'm just a vessel for our reverend. That was the first red flag.
For me, it was also like,
Poor little girl.
the food is only after the service.
Cough sounds real
And the
bad.
food is after the service.
And presumably
that's-
Her father
only
was
if you
nice.
come to the service, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe people won't judge me here.
Yeah, that's cult shit, right? Because everything he said up to that point was fine.
Yeah. Very humble.
Called and chosen. That's also a red flag to me because everyone who fancies themselves chosen is Kill Bill sirens. Yeah, Kill Bill sirens. Today on How to Spot a Cult.
Yes. No cameras as well.
No cameras, yeah. That's...
Oh, feel that cold air. Thank God for AC.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but I, as Sean, I'm not going to donate. I don't think he has the money to be doing
would like
that.
this place.
Yeah, I mean, I have the money, so often when I go into a church, even as like a tourist, I donate.
Yeah, I have been known to, but I just, I feel like for him specifically, that is not something he needs to feel like he should do.
Scare Daniel.
Yeah, even if he doesn't know, as we do, that this is not a good church.
Yeah, for sure.
If I had an inkling that any of the churches I've been in were headquarters for a cult, then I promise I would have felt differently about
I would guess so, yeah. I mean, I like to think most people would feel that way.
Yeah.
That's better than nothing, I guess.
I mean, you are glowing. Don't do that to your face. That's gonna hurt. Oh, his face must feel so warm as well. Like, I just think of like when my face is burnt and I'm like, even when I go into cold, it's like my face just feels so warm.
Yeah, I get you.
Nice picture.
Who are
Wonder
those
if they'll let
children?
me in.
Yeah.
Like, who are they?
Weird.
Wait. No way.
That fuck-ass
Angel
haircut she
Daniel?
gives him. Fucking hell.
Oh, shit.
That's... Yeah.
Live miracles. This is so fucking crazy because, like, even based on this alone, like, I know that y'all's Christians' biggest prophet would hate this shit.
Yep.
You know? Like, there are so many times where I think about, like one of the kind of most memorable biblical stories for me was always when Jesus sees the merchants in the temple and like gets really angry.
Yeah.
And the idea of like performing miracles for an audience, like on a whim is like so fucking exploitative and crazy.
Especially
that,
getting
like,
a child to do it, like...
I know. Like, if y'all's try, like, imagine if people tried to do this to baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a Bible story about the horrors of, like...
Capitalism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think it's so interesting when you think of, like... I mean, like, this is obviously Christians anywhere and everywhere, but, like, the specific kind of Christianity that, like, white, like, small communities in America kind of produce is so fascinating, because it's...
Oh, truly.
It's just, like, the things that they take... And it's, like, you know, you kind of see that stuff when you're, like, seeing, obviously, people be quite racist in the name of, like... Or, you know, right, as we will see, like, white religious people being very racist. And as we have seen with Claire and Stephen, like, it's so divorced from, like... I mean, I don't know a huge amount about Christianity, but I know enough to be like, it doesn't reflect what I know. And it is so fascinating that, again, it's that classic, like, everyone can read the same text, but they get very different things from it. But also, it's just, it kind of goes beyond that. It's like a certain denial of, like, certain aspects of Christianity and, like, a highlighting of very different ones.
Yeah, 100%. And, I don't know, for people who are interested, I watched the full sermon that Reverend Munther Isaac gave on Christmas from Bethlehem, which is titled Christ in the Rubble. So he, of course, is a Palestinian reverend, and his sermon was very, very powerful. But in it, he uses some very powerful language to articulate what he describes as basically the theology of empire, which is a phrase that he uses to describe how empire creates a theology, right? Like a way of understanding religion.
Yeah.
That justifies imperialism and supremacy. And of course, that's, you know, something that he would not only be very familiar with as a Palestinian in the context of how Zionism bastardizes Judaism and creates like a violent imperialist Jewish theology, but also in how that is done and has been done for centuries with Christianity, that like a kind of imperial Christian theology has been built over hundreds of years. And, you know, of course, his teachings of Christianity and his interpretations of Christianity are so, like, wildly different from that.
Yeah. I think it's something that, like, so for context, I don't particularly ascribe, like, to people who don't know, like, I don't particularly ascribe to a faith. I don't, like, I know some stuff about some faiths and very little about others. I did have to attend church sometimes as a scout, like when I was growing up, and it was very specifically a very white Methodist church that I went to, so it was obviously a very specific view of Christianity through that. But yeah, I think it is so interesting how completely, I think from a perspective of being someone who has for a lot of my life been atheist, I think the way that a lot of atheists perceive religions is very, like, unanimous almost. And it's funny because obviously atheists all feel very differently about their own atheism, right? Like, you know, we're not a unanimous group, so why would anyone of any faith be a unanimous group? But of course, especially white atheists, we love to generalize. And yeah, I think that is such a specific, it's things like that that really make me think about how flawed that kind of thinking has always been.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that it's worth saying in these terms because I don't think we say it enough. I think that when an atheist, especially a white atheist, makes some kind of claim about religion, which is that all religion is oppressive and violent and all religion should be destroyed,
Yeah.
I don't think that we should shy away from calling that eugenics.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's usually... I mean, the thing is as well, it's always racist.
Yeah, I mean, that what is that if not a call for genocide? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But like, how do you perceive destroying religion when billions of people in this world ascribe to some kind of faith? And how could you possibly believe that faith is inherently evil?
Yeah.
Like, you think that all of those billions of people across the world are only motivated to do evil by their faith?
Yeah.
Like,
This is
it's truly shocking, and you have to be dehumanizing entire populations of people and justifying their destruction in order to make such a statement.
Yeah.
And that's racist, it's eugenicist, and it's a call for genocide. And I don't think we should shy away from describing it in those terms.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going to very quickly go and feed my cats because otherwise they are going to tear me to pieces.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Well, yeah. While Charlotte does that. Yeah, those are my thoughts. I mean, for people who are new to the channel, but I think that a lot of y'all know this about me already, and I said it already. I am a Muslim, so I've got I'm Muslim. I was raised with Islam and also a bit with Christianity because I was very young when we came to the UK. I went to Christian schools and went to church. I went to a Church of England school. I went to church quite a bit. I went to church as a scout, so I know a fair amount about Christianity as well. And I was very much a religious minority, very much a religious minority in the community that I grew up in. But then I was an atheist for a while, like for quite a few years, when I was a teenager. Yeah, I just didn't believe in God anymore, and you can't control what you feel or what you believe, right? And then I kind of began to believe in God again, and it was very different, and it felt like it was on my own terms, and I genuinely believed it. Like, it wasn't like something I was being told to believe, and I think that journey has kind of led me to a place where I can hold a lot of truths about like religion, religious institutions, and also on a very intimate level, I also understand atheism because I've been atheist. So I hope that we can offer some nuanced opinions about these issues. But me personally, faith is something that's very important to me, and it's one of the reasons why this is my favorite episode. Like, it hits because that's a theme that always hits for me.
That makes sense. I think for me, like, this is one of my favorite episodes, mainly because I think for me personally it really takes Sean and Daniel's relationship to such a different place that it's obviously a very desperate situation, but I think it really reinforces for me like how much they love each other and how much they care about each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the theme of faith is not just within the realm of like religion or religious institution. I think it's so much about their faith in each other, which is put to the test, and even their faith in their mother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I mean the Karen stuff, I really, I mean, we'll dig into it in a bit, but like that really gets gets into some of the like thorny stuff that I really love, and like the kind of the nuances of having a parent who has done something bad, I guess, TM, and working through it, which is something that not in the same way, but I have personally experienced, and that is a hard thing to have to do, but it is really interesting the way that it develops, and I don't know, I just think it's such a fascinating dynamic that you get to see.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this episode too, is really the stuff with Karen.
Yeah, but also I think the way that religion ties into those things is also really interesting in life.
Well, yeah, so I was gonna say that I think that those things are like quite connected for me, and so on like a personal spiritual level, like it really rings true of some teachings, particularly of Sufi Islam, which is like a kind of mystic or mysticist interpretation or school of Islam. And so like in the Quran it says, and again this is often invoked, that to save the life of one man is if you saved all of mankind, and vice versa, to like take the life of one man is as if you have killed all of mankind. And Sufi mysticism, one of the things that's really like key to its teachings is this idea that we see Allah reflected all around us, like in the world and in each other. And one of the ways that's reflected is in Sufi poetry, which Sufi poetry, a lot of its kind of thematics are represented through basically singing to a beloved, and the beloved that's represented in the poem is kind of ambiguously representing both like a human being, like an object of affection, and God. And that's kind of meant to represent this spiritual idea that like your love of another person is an expression of your love of God, which is so beautiful to me. So I think that's really speaks to these themes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Interesting.
This community is a firewall from Satan himself. But remember, a servant can enter any garden.
I quite like, I did this last time, I preferred like seeing it from above rather than trying to open the door, because I was like, that will just be
Faith is not just
awkward.
a word.
I don't think I've tried to open the door.
What?
Unless it just says, look, like...
Remember Luke
I don't know,
18:27.
whatever it says.
What is impossible for man is possible for God. With that righteous faith comes the
Person in a
salvation
wheelchair as
of
well.
your souls. Can you cross that invisible bridge to salvation?
Sorry to derail again, but I just... The person in a wheelchair just really makes me think. I think I've talked before about Midnight Mass, the TV show, and how fucking angry it makes me.
I've not seen it yet.
It's okay. It's one of those shows that just people always go, "Oh my god, it's so great," and I'm just like, "Oh, it's not." It's not very well written, but it's also so there's a lot in that show that like it's by Mike Flanagan. It's one season and that's it. It's kind of a contained story, but and it's completely original as far as I'm aware. And like a lot of it's about Mike Flanagan himself's like musings on religion, and I don't know. There's a lot in there that I think is interesting, even if I don't like the show. I think there's so much. It's juicy. There's a lot going on, you know. But something that I particularly was very frustrated by watching it was there's this whole kind of framing of like someone actually performs a miracle, like this girl is in a wheelchair and that she's able to walk, and it's like the classic thing of like, wow, it's a miracle, this girl can walk, you know, she no longer needs a wheelchair. And obviously that in itself is such an ableist trope in itself, but like the way that like I think something really interesting could have been done there, which was like to show the ways that like that kind of religion, like a slightly more into the community kind of occultish approach to religion, can create or is enhanced by ableism and kind of perpetuates that ableism. And you know, there's a lot in there about like, yeah, if we just pray more, if we just do this, if we just do that, then she'll be cured. And then there's like some real, it's kind of like it almost goes there and it doesn't, which is again my like least favorite thing of all time in any media, is when something like almost makes a point or almost is good and then isn't. It's like the worst sin in my opinion for any kind of any kind of media, is just like, you're so close.
So close, yeah, I feel that. Thank you so much for stopping by the Assistant Project. We take ages to play these games, so maybe we will still be here.
Yeah, who knows?
If not,
who knows? It's happened before. Yeah.
Not, thank you for stopping by.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. And if not, yeah, please do feel free to watch our streams and stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah, we'd like to have you around. What was I going to say? Yes, so it misses the point, but it's like it could have made it better or could have made it at all. That loads of people are giving money to the church that she's a part of, and there's this whole big to-do because basically she doesn't have a ramp to get into this church. And rather than using the money that the church gets to build a ramp and or to make the island that this is happening on more accessible for this girl, she has to be like carried in, and she can't go anywhere on this island that she lives on. And it's like, again, it's so close to making a point. It's like so nearly there.
And then, that's frustrating. But that's made me really curious about watching it.
I would be so interested to hear your thoughts on it, because I kind of want to rewatch it, and not because I want to rewatch it, but just because like I feel like I was so angered by the experience that I like need to check that I definitely still hate it as much as I do. But I'm pretty sure I fucking do. Yeah, there's a lot of trigger warnings in there. Like a lot of he fucking loves dead animals. He'll just stick dead animals in there constantly. A lot of dead people, a lot of horrible shit goes on. It is a horror series, so yeah, just to warn people if they suddenly go, oh yeah, I'll just stick that on next time I'm chilling. It's not a chill show, but yeah, it makes me really angry, but I kind of want people to see it because the discourse around it is so crap most of the time, where people are like, oh my god, it's so intelligent, it's so brilliant, and I'm like, no. It's awful, and this is why. So yeah, sorry, I'm just making sure my cats haven't tried to steal into the kitchen. No, I think.
Thank you for redeeming a hydrate.
Yes, sorry, I just had a little sippy sip. But yeah, sorry, just the person with the wheelchair in there, and like this kind of framing of like disabilities being cured by religion / miracles really. Grinds my gears.
You are not like all these sinners out there. So I never asked the Lord for a sign. Then he gave me one. He spoke to me and told me that I was due.
Chris has just got me come back and brought me a present. It is a Lego set
cute.
That is a roller skate, but it is also a little 80s boombox and a little skateboard.
That's very gay.
Isn't it? It's excellent. But yeah, that was what he was messaging me about, and went into stream chat to be like, Charlotte, answer your fucking texts, so. Thanks, Chris. You're welcome. That's very sweet.
There's a lot going on in this sermon.
Yes, yeah. The you're not like all the sinners out there is very...
Right And to reward our great faith, the Lord sent me the ultimate gift. An angel.
Yes, he
A
did.
child graced with the power
It's
of
all
God.
me, I.
The miracle we have all been praying for, waiting for. Can I get a hallelujah? Do you have faith in his power? Do you have faith in me?
That's the thing, I have faith in God, but I don't have faith in you.
No.
Welcome
That's
our
the thing.
newest member and our latest miracle, the angel
I
Daniel.
love how she makes it sound like they're always having miracles, like...
Also, I forgot to say this about the poster earlier, but they did a white Jesus on Daniel.
They did. They did. They made him look lighter skinned and they gave him that fuck-ass haircut.
Yeah, they made him white.
Daniel, the prophet who was thrown to the lions by false prophets. But God saved Daniel so he could do his work.
He looks like a different person.
Yeah.
Daniel was brought
I'm always struck
to
by
me
that.
to deliver us, to guide us from the wilderness to our destiny. Now Daniel will reveal the true power of the Lord.
I'm gonna go listen to Ethel Cain's Preacher's Daughter.
Yeah,
after
it's,
this.
yeah.
These crosses all over my body.
I've definitely, like, the more I learn about the specifically, like, evangelical Christianity, the more, like, fascinated and also in some places horrified by it. Not broadly entirely, but, like, the way, again, it's often particularly experienced by white people.
Do you feel your soul rising like the cross?
That one guy, like,
If y'all don't listen to Ethel Cain and you're looking for mood music to this episode,
yeah,
please go listen to Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain.
I actually, there isn't, because I didn't start listening to her until this last year, but I made a Sean Diaz playlist on Spotify, and I feel like I need to add some Ethel Cain to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sun-Bleached Flies is my favorite song of that album, and I've got some strong feelings about the discourse.
Now we have a voice.
There's discourse about
A
sun-bleached
messenger.
flies specifically?
Our flock keeps growing.
Sorry, I want to listen
more
to it.
okay.
and more new faces. But this is only the beginning. You must spread the word. Bear witness to this miracle. Thank you so much for coming.
I feel like I have
all
several
of you.
points of theological disagreement that I want to engage on, but then we would be here forever. But I think ultimately this isn't about faith in God. This is about faith in her.
Yeah. Well, she
The sermon really...
presents herself
Yeah.
as, yeah, like a godlike figure.
Yeah, like her answer to the question that she opens with, what is faith? What she talks about
Is
is
herself.
she talks about herself. She talks, God gave me a sign. God told this to me. I'm God's chosen. And then she doesn't even ask people to believe in God. She asks them to believe in her.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I mean, there's so much to be said about that sermon and why it's fucking awful. But yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say about?
So discourse, it like, okay, so the discourse about Preacher's Daughter as a whole, but also specifically Sun-Bleached Flies. I was talking to a friend of mine who is even more obsessed than I am with Ethel Cain, which is crazy. She's trans and Christian, and we were talking about how we really kind of increasingly hate anti-theist readings of Preacher's Daughter, because and Sun Bleached Flies, because of how Preacher's Daughter is, you know, like it's a whole story. There you can say this about a lot of points in the album, but Sun Bleached Flies is really the apotheosis of the album's view on religion, or at the very least the character Ethel Kane's view on religion.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know that a lot of people love to reference the line, God loves you but not enough to save you, but I find it to be always taken out of context, because in the first place, okay, this is just my argument, which I feel very strongly about. It's fine to disagree.
Okay.
But in the first place, in Sun Bleached Flies, she says, what I wouldn't give to be in church on this Sunday, listening to the choir so heartfelt, all singing, God loves you but not enough to save you. So in the first place, those words are not coming from her mouth, they're coming from the choir. So that line arguably more represents the view of her church than it does her own view.
Yeah.
And also it's interesting that in spite of the fact that that message is, and it's pointing to the hypocrisy of her church, obviously, that message is quite grim. In spite of that, she longs to be in church on Sunday, and she longs to feel that sense of community. So that's my first part of the argument. My second part of it is that at least a good third of the song is her chanting with like a choral background in a way that sonically invokes a choir of angels as she ascends to heaven, that I forgive it all as it comes back to me. I met him there and I told him I believe.
Yeah.
So in spite of everything that's happened to her, the apotheosis of her story is that as she dies in this gruesome, horrific way, she ascends to heaven and she reaffirms her belief in God in spite of all of the evil and in spite of all of the hypocrisy. She finds herself reaffirming her belief. And that's my reading of that song. And I understand so much why people who are atheists, and especially if they're coming from a place of religious trauma, love that album, because religious trauma is one of the main themes of that album, and the hypocrisy and the violence of certain religious communities and institutions is a huge theme in that album.
Yeah.
And in no way, shape, or form am I denying that. But I think that you kind of have to ignore the voice of the character to have that reading of it. To have a reading of the album that the album, the text is like kind of a complete wholesale like rejection of religion.
Yeah, that makes
because
sense.
I don't think it is. And I think that thematically throughout the album, Ethel's character finds herself grappling with these conflicting feelings of love. And it's not just true of the church, but of the men who abuse her.
Yeah.
They hurt her and she still loves them.
Yeah. I think the thing that I always took from it was the kind of like what I wouldn't give to be in church this Sunday. I always took from that to be like I don't know if I can say I miss my old life, because I think that, or my life full stop, because of course there are aspects of it that were horrendous, but like she kind of is a kind of wish that she just never left in the first place.
Never left. Yeah.
But obviously she left for a very good reason. Yeah. Which, if you have listened to the album, you'll know. I don't want to like go too into it. But yeah, she left for a very good reason. And obviously her circumstances weren't her fault. But yeah, I don't know. I think to me it feels very wistful of like, I wish I hadn't done it, but I couldn't not have done. And I can see that I had to do it, you know, in some ways. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I always got from that line, I guess, of like, yeah, not a full rejection of that life, I guess. but a
Yeah, for
rejection
sure.
of aspects. And also, I think just this, like, you know, there's always going to be, if you've suffered a great deal of pain, and I mean, her character does throughout her whole life, but there's very specific pain that kind of gets detailed in the album. Like, when you suffer a very specific kind of pain, you think back to, like, who you were before it happened, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's always going to be natural, of just like, who would I be had that never happened to me, you know?
Yeah, I agree with all of that as well. I think that, yeah, what I gave is definitely more about the theological themes of the album.
Yeah, totally.
But I think, again, it kind of the album connects those theological themes with interpersonal themes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, repeatedly, you know, when she says that about, like, various men that she loved, and also her parents.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, I definitely have always... I've never seen it as, like, an album that rejects religion wholeheartedly, but an album that rejects, like, the way her church, like, was corrupt.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. And I think that for me, one of the reasons why it really hits is because I have those like, I believe in God, but I have feelings like that all the time of, like, you know, doubt and trying to navigate contradiction. And anyone who tells you that faith is just about, like, believing in something with no difficulty, like, I mean, maybe that's true for them, but I don't understand how. And I don't know, I think that in kind of bringing it back to this episode, because I should probably be quiet soon, but I just got really into
No.
my reading.
You don't have to be quiet. It's okay. I mean, we're here as long as we're here. Like, it's a Saturday. We'll do what we gotta do, you know?
Yeah, in terms of bringing it to this episode, I feel like I was going to say something and it's kind of gone out of my head, but I think that one of the things that this episode brings up is those contradictions. And I've never felt from this episode that it's wholeheartedly rejecting religion either. I think that it portrays such a specific kind of religious community, and you as the player have the option to navigate those contradictions in specific ways.
Yeah.
And I know I mentioned this briefly last time as well, but I feel so much for Jacob for so many reasons. One of those reasons is that in spite of how much suffering he has experienced at the hand of this specific abusive religious community, he still wants to believe in God.
Yeah. And he still goes back.
And he still goes back, and I really feel that.
Yeah.
You know, feel that, and I think that for me, that's the kind of, like, emotional resonance that Preacher's Daughter has for me as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
This helps us keep our church and to spread the word of God. Oh yeah, there's only a few tickets left for our picnic raffle next Sunday.
The picnic raffle.
Another miracle. Any questions? Please.
Call this plotline pointless, so it has nothing to do with the larger plot of the game. It has everything to do with the larger plot of the game.
Also,
fucking hell.
Also, like, what about themes? What about emotions?
Yeah.
What about...
Well, even, like, in terms of just Sean and Daniel's relationship, like, if we think about it in terms of, like, the last episode, we started to see Daniel become more powerful to the point where it scared Sean. Which, you know, is relevant, is incredibly relevant to the fact he's then deified by a fucking church. Like... You know, but then like the history of colonial Christianity, the ways that, like, colonization has affected religion and how it has affected the way that religion is viewed and the way that it's perceived, you know, but also the way it's experienced and
the way it's weaponized.
Yeah.
Religion.
Yeah.
Just realized the Daniel poster reminded me of the old baby Jesus statues in Catholicism. Yeah, 100%. And we I don't know if you caught it, but we were saying that they white Jesus him.
Yeah.
As well.
Hi.
I saw you out in that parking lot earlier.
Yep, that was me.
I like to be here too. We can see the whole room, and it's where a Reverend Mother teaches us classes.
Reverend
Whoa.
Mother.
You okay? Need some water?
No, sorry. I'm just kind of sick.
Oh, that sucks. That's too bad.
I think Reverend Mother is just what the term is, to be fair.
I don't know that it is.
Hey.
Is it not?
What happened to your eye?
I've never heard that before, but I mean, I'm all too happy to be contradicted, but...
I might be wrong.
I thought it was just Reverend.
I guess because, like, a reverend is a mother or a father.
I guess.
But I don't know.
Yeah, okay. A woman who is head of a convent often uses a form of address, so...
Reverend Mother. I've seen The Sound of Music enough times.
Incredible.
That's a long story.
That's okay.
Yeah, I just never heard
My
that
name
before.
Is Sara
but
Lee.
again,
What's
I didn't go
yours?
to a church that had reverends.
You must be
in that
Jacob's
way. It
sister.
was
Did you get that letter from Jacob? Back when he was in California?
Yes. How did you know he was in California?
I was with him. That's how we met.
You are Daniel's brother? Really? He's always talking about you.
Hey, not too loud. Yes, I'm Daniel's brother, but I need some help.
The Reverend Mother says we always have to help our neighbor. What do you need?
Poor sweet kid.
Yeah.
That at least is one good teaching, though.
Yeah. She learned one good thing in this context.
I think you can ask any of them and then end on
Who is this Reverend?
You don't know her? That's our mother, Lisbeth. She was blessed by the hand of God when she was my age. She can't ever sin. The Lord guides her.
Everybody can sin, babe. To be someone who never sins means that you're, like, above humanity. That's so bad.
And also, like, the way that's used to probably absolve her of any shitty things she does.
That's
like, well,
insane.
I can't sin.
Kill Bill sirens.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
She can't ever sin.
Christ. Literally.
What is this?
This is our home. Our church and community. The Reverend Mother says we were all chosen by God.
Why? For what?
Yeah.
What is Daniel doing here?
He's our miracle, and the Lord brought him right to our Reverend Mother. I like him. He's really kind and funny. We play together all the time.
So, can you take me to Daniel?
Oh, yes. He's gonna be so happy when he sees you. He missed you so much for his birthday. It will be like a late surprise.
I wonder if this voice actor is a kid as well, because I know the one who plays Daniel is.
Yeah.
But, like, this little girl is like,
yeah.
I'm sick. Bless her.
I'm
Daniel,
hyped to see the
you're
Mean
the
Girls
living
musical
proof
next week.
of their faith. And mine. I know you understand.
I mean...
Oh, here we fucking go.
Sean?
Oh my.
Sean! You came back! I knew it!
You've grown up, and I know.
Do I look older? What?
To me?
What happened to your
Yeah,
eye?
I guess.
Don't worry.
Works in that
It's
sense.
okay.
Yeah.
Did that happen at the farm? Because of me? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
I want to say it's not his fault.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
And also, like, I
Definitely.
don't want to be like, I warned you, because, I mean,
Yeah.
Finn was manipulating him, so, and he's a
I'm
child.
not gonna chastise him for it.
Forget it. It wasn't your fault. I should have... It's okay.
Does it Hurt?
No. Not as much as your haircut.
Shut up. It's different. I kind of like it.
Don't.
Sean.
Don't.
Girl,
I
no.
didn't want to leave you there.
Yeah, but to be fair,
Nothing
every
I could
brown
do.
boy has to suffer through this
I
haircut.
was so scared.
It's the rule.
I even
And
thought you
sometimes the
were
girls,
dead.
too.
Oh
And
no.
It's okay. We're together now.
yes. So, are you gonna stay with us now? Huh?
We still need to go to Puerto Lobos.
But we don't need to. We have a new home now. Look.
One step at a time, Daniel. Give Sean a chance to process this. I'm
Hands
sure
off.
this is all so overwhelming. By the way, my name is Lisbeth Fisher. We all prayed for your safe return. Sean, you must be a believer now in our Lord, too.
I'm a believer in God,
Just not.
not whatever you're doing.
Kinda.
Daniel told me you had faith. That's how you got here. But first,
Also,
I need
yes, we
Sara
did.
Lee and Daniel
We did
to
say
grab
that
the
we
medicine
would be
kit. We have to take care of our new guest. This is a place of healing.
Aw. Let's do it later. I want to talk to him now.
Daniel, now.
Okay, Reverend Mother.
Let's go, Daniel.
Whoa, whoa. Hold on.
Gonna get into
Well,
white
Sean,
people
it's a pleasure to
adopting
meet
brown
you.
children
This is
discourse
a real
shortly.
blessing today. You were away from Daniel for quite a while.
I was in a coma.
Of course. I wasn't judging you. So
Sure you
what is
weren't.
your plan, Sean? This is a blessed family, and it would be good for Daniel to have you by his side. You should know that the Lord has big plans for him.
How do you know what the Lord's plans are?
God or you? If I say that.
God or you? That's literally what I was gonna say.
Or you.
So,
God, of course.
how do you know? Do you have a direct line? Like,
Yeah, just got
Is
him
he
on
on
the
speed
on the
dial?
call. Oh, okay, that didn't work as well as I hoped. P for Papa.
aw, be for papas.
Jesus,
Although,
he's a
big
strong
game.
boy.
no, this is one of the other things for me is that like when someone is like, I know the will of God, I'm like, no, you don't.
No,
Because nobody fucking does.
it's kind of the vibe of like, why do you think everyone disagrees on religion so much? Like, no one knows
why,
that.
Why are we all like scrambling over a bunch of books trying to figure out what God wants us to do? Like, what is?
It's not your business.
But you know the will of God. What?
Absolutely not. It's just the audacity. I mean, I'm gonna say I'm his family.
Yeah.
I'm his family.
2 young boys are not a family. Mark 3:25. If a house is
Oh.
divided against
I thought she was about to say that the thing that she just said was Mark 3:25.
Every Mark 3:25.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the Bible, my girl. She's like, yeah,
Time
2 boys
again.
is not a family. I'm like, I don't think that was in the Bible.
Wasn't in the Bible.
I don't think Jesus was like, yo. By
No,
the
I
way,
think quite the actually in a way quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Of the Bible.
yeah.
I don't know if you've ever read the Book of Ruth.
No, but I'm gonna guess it's not the vibe.
The synopsis of the Book of Ruth is that a girl marries into a family. She's from a different tribe. Marries into a Jewish family, and the husband dies, and I think a bunch of his brothers die as well, and the only people left are her and her husband's mother, and her husband's mother are like, is like, well, you should go and find someone else to get married to because that's the only way that a young woman is gonna survive in this world kind of thing. And the young woman, Ruth, is like, you're my family now.
Yeah.
It's you and me, girl.
It's you and me, baby. And then they drove off into the sunset
That
together.
house cannot stand.
It's also
Daniel
one of
sounds more
the
like
Bible books that has been interpreted in a fruity way. So yeah,
It's Ruth and the guy's mother, not Adam and Steve.
It sounds
it's Ruth and Naomi.
that way. After everything I've done for him.
After
I know why you're
everything
scared,
I did
Sean.
for you
That's
that you
because
didn't
your heart's
ask
full
for.
of sins. I know about that poor man.
Life
you
is
beat
Strange
down
2, the
back in
musical.
Washington.
But like using songs from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Sean, this is a terrible sin, and until you make penance for it, I can't accept you
What
here.
fucking sin is she accusing us of?
Are you serious?
Oh, I can't
I'm
remember. I think I
sorry,
stole a
my
car
son.
or something,
I'm
or
not
broke into the
your
car.
son. And Daniel isn't
Sorry,
gonna
we
be
slightly
your
talked over.
golden cow. Daniel, come
Why
on.
don't
Oh, hi,
we
Mexstar,
ask
sorry.
him what he wants to do?
Do not touch me.
Welcome.
Fuck her up.
What the fuck?
Yes, the way
White
he like
womanhood.
he barely touches her, and she's like, "Oh no!"
And that's white womanhood.
Yeah.
White
What did you do?
womanhood
Nothing.
is
Enough.
in the room with us.
You spilled blood.
Where did she get the blood from?
Sean, what happened?
Your brother came.
God, the theatrics.
Oh.
Where did that blood come from?
I don't know. I don't even fucking know.
I know that wasn't real. What the fuck?
Here, impure and acting like a criminal, but he can be saved. Daniel.
I'm sorry,
Oh my God,
Sean.
I hate you.
She's right.
I hate you.
Why
I'm
I
proud
order?
of you.
Why I
Then-
oughta?
When you're ready, we can.
She's trying to
Little
manipulate
blood
you.
Let me lead you.
She had some
to the
fake
one
blood stashed
true light
Yeah.
in her
that
stupid
never
necklace.
She's got
goes
some
out.
like
And-
I want
ketchup
to be
somewhere.
your
She just
friend.
went.
You're crazy. Let's get out of here, Daniel.
I want to stay. Just go.
There's your answer, Sean.
We're together again. So we can go, right?
Come on.
Get off me, dude. What?
Put
Yeah,
your
the way she touches
Daniel!
people makes me
Let me
ick as
go,
well.
Yeah.
asshole! Daniel! You're not your
Surly, just like I'm just gonna be dramatic in the
You
corner
just
here. Sorry.
need to have faith. We'll be waiting.
Daniel!
It's okay, Sean.
Daniel!
That whole
go.
sequence as well.
Satisfied?
Like, I don't know.
Now don't you ever come.
Sorry.
Is very evocative of like yeah, I mean like racialized children being torn apart, and then like white families like fostering them or adopting them. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Back.
And the whole point, supposedly, was that he can come back when he's learned, and that guy's like, "Don't come back." I'm like, yeah, well, that's what they mean, isn't it?
Yeah, almost like this isn't like a good religious community, but a horrible cult.
I'm gonna get up.
Get up.
Come on, kid. Don't make me do this. You're not gonna win.
Fuck off, weirdo.
You know, I hadn't thought about this.
Daniel!
Before.
Daniel!
I'll
You're
continue.
pissing me off. This is private property.
Jesus.
I have a legal right to stop any intruders like you.
I just want my brother.
But he doesn't want you. He was brought here, and this is where he's staying. Next time, I will not hesitate to use this. Now get out of here.
Daniel, hey! Daniel.
Sean?
Karen?
You won't get him back like this. Let's go.
Plot twist.
The first time that happened, I was fucking shook.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was shook. Like, when, you know, he turns around and sees Karen. Also, this is probably my favorite song on the OST.
What song is it?
I've seen some people just call it Karen, and some people call
Oh,
it New
as in its
Perspectives.
actual. I see. Sorry,
Yeah.
original soundtrack. Sorry.
Or Away.
Sure.
Yeah.
What happened to your eye?
Why the hell are you here? How did you find me?
Well, I got a letter from Jacob. He said you were missing. And that Daniel needed help. I believed him.
So you finally decided to check on him.
You know, Sean, sooner or later, we're gonna have to talk.
It was an interesting choice of words. I believed him.
Where are we even going?
Yeah.
I already have a hotel room. You're gonna need to rest and clean that dressing.